Hey there you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be discussing Rare Beauty and some products that I've been loving and my thoughts on the brand and on certain products. So if you're interested in that, then please keep watching. I have recently purchased a few of the Rare Beauty products. I have five. I have 5 items from the range. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Rare Beauty is Selena Gomez's new makeup line, which is exclusive to her website and Sephora. That's the only 2 places where you can get it so far. So I have tried out a lot of these products. I'm wearing all of them today on my face. So before we get into the specific products and my thoughts on the products, I did want to discuss a few things that are important towards the brand. Now, when doing my research as far as the brand, I did think it was worth mentioning that they do have the Rare Impact Fund for the products. The goal of the Rare Impact Fund is to raise $100 million over the next 10 years to help address the gaps in mental health services for undeserved communities. So it says, from the first Rare product sold onward, 1% of all sales as well as funds raised from partners will be dedicated to the Rare Impact Fund that aims to increase access to mental health resources. So I think that's worth mentioning because definitely that is a great point behind the brand. You know, 1% of all their sales is going towards that, which is very beneficial to the community. However, you know, 1% you're probably thinking to yourself, that's not a lot, but think about how there are a lot of brands out there that are not donating anything, $0. So I think at least 1% is something, and you know, if the brand is successful, then that's a lot of money that can go towards a greater impact. Worth mentioning a rumor that's going around. I was actually convinced of this for quite some time until I did further research on it. You know, a lot of people have been saying that the little balls on top of the packaging is for people that have difficulty opening products if they have arthritis, and I was convinced of that for quite some time when I saw the products because I was like, well, that makes perfect sense, you know, you can grip onto it, but apparently that's not something that has been confirmed by Rare Beauty, so that's actually just a rumor. You know, I guess people heard that Selena has had health problems in the past and they just assumed that she would probably do something like that, and definitely if she's gonna do something like that in the future, that's great, but that's not necessarily something that's been confirmed by the brand. So for now it's just a rumor, and to be honest, these products are not that easy to open. Like, I don't even have problems, you know, with grip or my hands, and there are times where this is not easy for me to open. So in reality, if this were for people that have arthritis or weakness in their hands, it wouldn't really be ideal for them, just because the ball grip is not that big for you to be able to grip it. Most of the products have like a click closure, which adds friction to you trying to open the product, so that's not helpful. I guess like things like this, like the concealers or the liquid blushes, have an easier grip just because the little ball on top is thinner, so it's easier for you to grip, but even then it still has that clicking in it that it's not super easy for you to open. Also worth mentioning as far as grip, the shiny ones, you know, like she has the 2 types of textures on the top. There's a soft matte one, and then there is this shiny sort of other cap opening that she has. And this one I find is the hardest to open just because I tend to use a lot of silicone based primers, so that can make my hands a little bit slippy. So I find that when I open the product and I go to take it out, it has this little, you know, swiper. Inside it has this little contraption that wipes the doe foot applicator when you do that, and I find that if my hands are slippery with primer or anything like that, my hand will actually slip from here when I take out the product. It will actually slip from the handle, you know, if I have something greasy on my hands. Which to me is not really a big deal, you know, as far as packaging wise. Packaging is not what makes or breaks a product for me, but it just goes to show that the products were not made with the mentality of, you know, people with arthritis or people with weakness in their hands or whatever other health issue that you may have with your hands. It was not made with that mentality. That was just a rumor that's going around, because the products are not that easy to open as everyone claims that it is. So let's just get into the products. I do have only 5 products from the line. I don't have the brushes, I don't have the liner, don't have the brow, don't have the liquid highlight, I don't have the face mist or the blotting complexion touch-up kit. I don't have any of that. I have right now, I have the primer, the lip souffle, the concealer, the foundation, and the liquid blush. So those are the products that I'm going to be reviewing in this video. So I want to start off with the primer. This one, it's the Illuminating Primer, and this retails, the primer is the Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer, and it retails for $26. And it's very illuminating. I've only tried this one time since I've had it, so I can't really attest to the longevity of the primer because I haven't really tested it out that much. The focus of the line is not to mask your face or to mask your identity. It's actually just to enhance your natural features. So the fact that this primer is illuminating is really nice. For the price, I think that it's a really good hydrating primer for the skin. So it's definitely a great option. You know, when I try it out more to see the longevity of my foundation with it, I will definitely update you guys on more as far as that. And if you're interested on the packaging, it is just a plastic bottle with a plastic lid, and then it has a little pump on it, so it helps evenly disperse the product. The lid is very tightly shut, but it's not something that will easily come off in your makeup bag or anything like that unless, you know, you squeeze the heck out of it. But I don't think that that's something that usually happens, so it's really nice to travel with. It's very sleek, so I think that it's good for travel. Next, I have the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation, and this retails for $29. I have the shade 180W, and again, you know, a family member purchased this for me. I wasn't with them for them to color match me, but it actually was a really good match because they consulted someone from the Sephora employee and they were able to match me with a picture or video. So it's actually a really great match. 180W is supposed to be light with warm peach undertones, which, I mean, I think that that fits me pretty well. I feel like my undertones are pretty neutral, so either way you go is gonna be pretty fine. But it's actually a really great match. But you'll see that, you know, since they were purchased from different times, the concealer and the foundation are different shades, but it all worked together anyways. It's not really anything that caused any issue for me. So I really like the foundation. I think that it is very flawless. It's not super high coverage. If you're that person that likes a super high coverage every single day of your life, this is not the product for you. I think that it's a very nice medium to light coverage. You can make it light, you can make it medium. I mean, it's very buildable, so you can get it to where you like. But if you're expecting that sort of one application snatched face, I mean, you're not going to get that from this product because that's not what the line is centered around, if you get what I mean. The line is more centered around enhancing a natural beauty, so the products are going to be just that, you know, more on the natural side, more on the, you know, flawless side, whereas instead of masking side, you know what I mean? Which I can go for. I really enjoy that sometimes. If you're not that kind of person, then you might not like this line. But me personally, as a person who likes both ends of the spectrum, I enjoy it a lot. The foundation is very gorgeous, I have to say. The finish of the foundation is beautiful. I've only tested it one time, so I can't really talk about the longevity of the foundation in this video. Obviously, if I try it out later, I will update you guys on how long it lasts. But as far as the finish, I think that the finish is the most beautiful thing that this foundation has. The finish is not super glowy, but it's not super matte either. It's like this really nice velvety sort of in between that I personally love in a foundation. The coverage is really good. It's so easily blendable. It just kind of blends super quick and easy into the skin, which I think is a very nice point. I want it to be very airy and blendable, which this product is that sort of airy kind of moussey texture, which I think is very nice for an everyday makeup look. I do have to mention as well that the product does have that, it has that click opening, if you see. Like it sort of has that little clicking, so that will ensure that the product doesn't open in your bag, which is kind of nice. The product, the bottle is, I believe, a glass. It might be plastic. I'm not 100% sure, but it's sort of like a frosty finish, and then the top is that soft matte. The applicator is a dual foot applicator, which a lot of people have an issue with as far as, you know, hygiene and all of that, which definitely if you're a makeup artist, you wouldn't use this directly on someone's face for your clients because that's not sanitary. But if you're going to use this for your own personal collection, I don't see an issue with it. If you're only going to use it on yourself, I mean, I would just recommend, you know, if you're going to have, if you have acne on your face, don't use the applicator directly just because you can contaminate the product with bacteria from your acne. But if you don't have any of that and you're just using it on yourself, I don't see an issue with it. It's the same thing sort of like as a concealer. You know, almost all concealers have a dual foot applicator that you apply directly to your face. So there's not really a difference with this. If you're a makeup artist, it's definitely not something that I would recommend you do on clients because that's definitely not sanitary. What I like most about the products in this line is that the price points are really great. This foundation is not very expensive, $29. I feel like that's a nice in-between. It's not Sephora price where it's, you know, more luxury, but it's not super drugstore price. I think that it's a very nice medium. And the product is really great for the price. So if you're gonna get something from this line, I would recommend the foundation because the foundation is actually really beautiful. It's very versatile, it's very easy to use, and the shade range is amazing. The first release of products from this line has had a really great shade range as far as concealers and foundations, which I think is worth mentioning because not a lot of brands can do that on the first launch. So it's really worth mentioning that she has a great shade range. Also, as far as packaging, I forgot to mention, it does have that little shaker ball in it. You know, that just helps mix up the product inside, but, you know, giving you some information as far as product. I think that the foundation is really nice. And what I like a lot is that the foundation shades correspond with concealer shades. So even though I didn't purchase the same two shades, you can, you know, if you want to match your foundation to your concealer, you can, because they're the exact same numbers, the exact same shade from concealer and foundation, which is really easy to use because, you know, a lot of brands have their foundations that are named porcelain, beige, neutral beige, light beige, and then you get to the concealer and it's 40, 20, 30, 50, and you're like, well, how do I know which one is which, you know? So I think that it's really worth mentioning that if you get a foundation that's 150W, you're gonna find a concealer that's 150W, and I think that that's really easy for the consumer. Next, we have the concealer, and this concealer, this is the Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer, and I have the shade 200C, which is a very nice shade for me as well. I feel like it blends in really easily with my foundation, and what 200C is described as a light medium with cool beige undertones. So that's really nice as well. I like the packaging on all the products. The packaging is very sleek and very aesthetically pleasing. You know, it doesn't have too much to it, but it's very dainty and aesthetically pleasing and very nice. I will say I really love the concealer. Just like the foundation, it blends super flawlessly. It blends like a dream. The doe foot applicator actually holds a lot of product, so I find that I don't really have to dip in many times into the product. You know, if I'm gonna do my under eyes, conceal anywhere else, I can really do that with just one dip or one swipe from the applicator, which is great, honestly, because that means that you're not gonna be wasting a lot of product or having to dip in and waste time dipping product into the applicator. Again, like I said, as far as packaging, it's not the easiest thing to open because it has a little mechanism that wipes the doe foot applicator, so that kind of creates like a little bit of a friction, if you can see, but it's really not that big of an issue unless you have issues with, you know, your pans, but it's really not that big of a deal. Again, I find that the concealer is really nice. The product blends really seamlessly. It does gear more towards yellowy tones. I found that the foundation does that as well. Even though the description says pink, beige, whatever, it does gear towards more yellow tones, which is fine for me because I actually like yellow tone foundations and yellow tone concealers. I find that they look really nice on me, but definitely something to consider if you're looking for a shade for yourself. Also, just want to mention that the soft matte touch thing does get kind of dirty, so you know, if that's something that bothers you, that might happen. I will say, you guys, the complexion products are really great. The concealer is really great. It's not a terrible price point. Did I mention that already? The concealer is actually a great price point. You know, again, it's not, it's $19, so it's not crazy expensive, undoable, but it's not drugstore either. It's just like a really nice medium, which I think is really great for people out there that, you know, want a little something nicer than drugstore but don't want a lot of money for a product. So I think that it's a really great product for the price, so highly recommend the concealer. The concealer is not super full coverage either. You know, obviously I feel like I'm been repeating this, but the products are not made to be super full coverage. The concealer is definitely not super full coverage either. It's a very nice medium coverage for a concealer, which I think is very nice because, you know, for your day-to-day, you don't want something too heavy, and that sort of medium coverage just allows it to look a little bit more like skin and a little bit more natural than, let's say, wearing a super heavy coverage concealer and foundation and looking like you're wearing a mask. So that's definitely the area where the concealer goes to. It's more like a medium coverage foundation or concealer, great for an everyday kind of girl. So next product I want to mention is this Soft Pinch Liquid Blush, and these retail for $20. I have the shade Joy, which is a really nice, it's described as a dewy muted peach. There are 10 shades here. 5 of them are dewy and 5 of them are matte. I wanted the more dewy one just because it looks a little bit more glowy, and I kind of like that glow kind of look. And also I feel like Joy is a really nice shade to have in your makeup kit if you're a makeup artist, because it's very versatile of a color. You know, it's warm toned enough to go on a darker skin tone, but it's also not super cool toned, not super orange to be on a lighter skin tone. So it's a very nice medium shade that can do great for a lot of different shades. So I'm just going to swatch it for you. The Souffle applicator is kind of flat on this side. That's what it looks like. Obviously you wouldn't apply this much on your face. This is what it looks like when it's more like blended out. I will say that these are a little bit tricky to work with. They're not the most foolproof product that you can get from the range, just because they are very pigmented and a little bit goes a long way. So you really just kind of have to play around with it and see what works for you. I find that if you get more problems with it if you apply it directly to the skin, but I did do it just to show you guys what I mean in the tutorial part of this, just to show you what it looks like applied to the face directly. But I have found that if you use like a small stippling brush and place it onto a palette and then dip your brush into it and kind of disperse it in the brush first and then apply it to your face is a lot more easy of an application than applying the doe foot directly to your face. It just ensures that you get a more even application and doesn't get very patchy or anything like that. If you want the blush to last a really long time, you can go over it with a powder blush. That will just ensure that your blush lasts all day, throughout the day. Usually blush is one of the first things to go in a makeup look, but if you use a cream and then a powder on top, it will just ensure that your blush lasts that much longer. So I really think these are great as well for the price. Very pigmented, very nice finish. This one is the glowy one, so it gave a really nice glow to the skin, very nice and natural. The matte ones would probably be best for more oily skin, or if you don't like that kind of glowy look. I do, so I was fine with it. But you know, if you don't want that kind of glow, definitely go for one of the matte ones. I think that you'll definitely get bang for your buck with that product. And then last but not least, I do have the lip product. I only got one of the lip products. This is a lip souffle matte cream lipstick. This is $20. Has a lot of shades as well, which is really nice. I got the red shade, which is in shade Inspire, just because I don't have a lot of reds in my collection and I don't have a red that is matte that I really like. So I thought I would get them red just to try it out, which I think it's really pretty. I'm going to swatch it here for you guys just so you can see. The Souffle applicator is more like tapered, so it'll just help, you know, create a kind of lip line around your mouth, which is good because she doesn't have lip liners yet. So that's really great kind of applicator for that. And then just so you guys can see a swatch. It's a really pretty kind of orangey red shade, which I think is a really gorgeous on a lot of different skin tones as well. It doesn't gear more towards bluish tones, it's more on the orangey side, which is really pretty. And obviously it's not a liquid lipstick, so you can expect this to be a super matte kind of drying formula, but I enjoy that it's not a liquid lipstick because I'm not the liquid lipstick kind of girl. I don't like feeling like I have, you know, super dry crusted lips. If you like that kind of look, then definitely go for it, but it's not something that I gear towards in my personal makeup. So I like these because they're matte, but they're not super drying either. They have a really nice souffle, sort of soft matte feel to it that a lot of the other products have, which is kind of like a really nice in-between, not super glowy, not super matte, a really nice in-between that's very comfortable. If you're not gonna feel like you're gonna have lipstick running all over the place, it's not a runny formula, but you're also not gonna feel like you have dry chapped lips because it's also not that kind of formula. I feel like they're really just really nice altogether. I really don't have anything bad to say about these. The formula is very comfortable, it's very nice. I will say though, I wore this out to eat a few days ago. Obviously it didn't last throughout my meal. I wasn't expecting it to because it's not a liquid lipstick, so I wouldn't expect it to hold out throughout, you know, you eating a steak dinner. That probably won't happen. But I will say after the product rubbed off, I did have a sort of stain to the lip, which is worth mentioning because I think that that's really nice because you kind of feel like you have a little bit more color to your face, but you don't have a lip color on, you know? It just kind of leaves like a little bit of stain to it, which is pretty, you know? It's pretty because that way you don't look like super pale after it's wiped off. I can imagine that the more nude shades wouldn't do that to you because they're probably like your same skin tone, so you wouldn't really expect a stain from a nude, but possibly in the darker shades you might get that little stain to your lips, which I like. Not a lot of people like that just because, you know, it will stain your face essentially. It's staining you, but I think that it's a really nice and worth mentioning thing of the product because it adds a little bit more color to your face after everything's wiped off. Out of all the products, obviously you guys can see that I'm a big fan of the line. I like a lot of the products. I love a lot of the products. There's not really any issues or any problems that I've seen yet so far with the products that I've had. Obviously I don't have all of the products. If you guys want me to, review a specific product from the line that I didn't mention today, please leave it in the comments or send me a direct message through Instagram and I'll try my best to get it soon. Obviously I couldn't get all of the products in one sitting, so I just got what I was most interested in. But if there's a product that you guys want me to mention, just let me know and I'll try my best. Overall, I think that the brand is great. Selena's really tried to make it accessible to a lot of people, which I think is really great for a product, because not only is it accessible as far as price, because the price is not super luxury priced, but it's a really great product for the price. And then also with the shades, there's so many shades of foundation, so many shades of concealer, so I feel like between the price and the shade range, it's really easily accessible to a wide variety of people. She really kept in mind that, there are people of all different colors, all different races, all different ethnicities, and she wanted to cater to everyone to make sure everyone can find something in the line, which is really memorable. The Rare Impact Fund, that's great that she's doing that, donating to help provide mental health services to communities. That's worth mentioning as well and pretty impactful. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are not a big fan of the brand, just because, there are a lot of people that have a different mentality as far as makeup. It's really just depends on your personal preference as far as what you like in your makeup. I love the products because I can really enjoy a nice natural looking foundation and a nice natural looking concealer. I really think that that's pretty. But there are people out there that like, to wear a full face and wear a mask of makeup, and that's totally up to you if you like that. No judgment here. I do that sometimes as well. But this line is definitely not geared towards that kind of mentality. It's more geared towards your look but better. So if you like that kind of, I woke up like this kind of look, or that kind of, it's me but pretty me, then this is a line that you would like, which I do as well. I like it a lot. I have really no issues with the products that I've tried so far. I was not sent these products in PR. I was not sent these products, for me to recommend. Selena doesn't even know I exist. If she does, that would be great. I mean, if she wants to send me PR, I'll be totally down for it. But as far as the products, I don't have any commitment towards Rare Beauty or Selena to mention any of these products. So you can trust that my opinions are 100% my own. Of course, I will leave all the products mentioned down in the description box below. Some of them may be affiliate links from which I earn a small commission off of your purchase, but you don't have to use them. They're just there in case you want to shop directly through the video. And if you do decide to use those links, it does help support me and my small channel. Definitely up to you if you'd like. So sorry if I rambled on a lot in this video, you guys. I just had a lot of thoughts and I was trying to gather them all together to give you the most accurate information that I can. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also share the video with any family or friends. That does help me out a lot as well. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!